Well, hello farming friends, and welcome to another edition of Farming Simulator 2015 with me, your old buddy, Mr. Moose. And we're looking out over a big field of potatoes that needs to be harvested here. And looking back over here, somebody's got some gear to Wait a minute. Are you kidding me? Potatoes with that thing? Nobody harvests potatoes with this thing. It's only 2 meters wide. We'll be here all day. But that brings us to the reason we're doing this recording. It is a CoursePlay tutorial on how to harvest potatoes using this thing. Yep, how to use the SE260 to harvest potatoes using CoursePlay. So in today's tutorial, I'm going to walk you through everything you need to know to automate your potato harvesting and not lose your sanity while trying to get some spuds. So let's get started. First thing you got to do is you got to prep your field. You got to get all the foliage off the top of your potatoes. So we have to use that cool little harvester right here to take all the vegetation off. And really there's no easier way to do this than just get you a tractor, hire a helper, and let them go do it. I've tried it many different ways. I've tried to put it on the front of the potato harvester. But in all honesty, you miss so much with the way that it makes these wide turns. You're better off just go ahead and doing a little hired help. So that's what we'll do. Hire help. Let them take care of topping this. It won't take them any time at all. The second thing we might as well do is go ahead and get our tipper set up to go ahead and unload our potatoes as they are harvesting. So we're going to automate that. And we'll just be doing combine mode in CoursePlay to do that. So let's bring up CoursePlay, and if you've watched my video on combine mode, you'll know it's pretty straightforward, pretty simple. We just need to select combine mode, and we need to record a course that is going to take our potatoes from the field to our storage bin, and that's what we'll do. So we'll just go ahead and record a simple course here, and luckily we're right here next to the facility, so we'll just take a nice little slow course coming in here, and we'll hit all the trigger points in case we were to do beats at some point. You could use this course for that, and you want to not run into the wall there and keep your speed manageable. And we'll run this guy back out to the field where we'll have it stop and set up for future unloading. Alright, so that's pretty straightforward on how to do that for you. We'll stop, and you can save this course. We'll call it Field 23 Earth Fruit. Oh, what happened there? Somebody did something wrong. Alright, so let's go ahead and... Oh, I gotta hit the actual save button. So we'll call this Field 23 Earth Fruit. And that will let me cover root vegetables and everything. Alright, so that is recorded. We see that it's down here in our menu. We'll get through the rest of the automation here. We'll go ahead and set this up, do 4-wheel drive active. Our speeds, we want to keep our speed kind of slow. We don't want to run into anything, so 18 miles an hour. Street speed, I want to keep that kind of low too, so I'm going to come down here and crank that because we're right here at the farm. I don't want to be running too fast and running into walls, so I'll crank that down as well, and we're good to go. So we need to select our harvester, which is going to be the SE260. So we just come in here, and there's the SE260. It tells us it's just right around the corner, and we're going to start at, I'm going to up this to about 80% because we're going to let it fill up quite a bit, and then we'll come unload it. And that's all we need to do. At this point, we can just say drive course, and this guy is sitting pretty and ready to go when we need him. Alright, which brings us to the last part of all this, and that is setting up the actual SE260 to harvest. Now, what makes this tricky is your working head is 2 meters wide, and it is offset from the side of the tractor, so we have to compensate for that, and it's easy to do in CoursePlay. Let's go ahead and fire up our tractor here. Now, if I just come into here, we're going to be using field work mode to handle this, We'll come in here and we'll say generate a course. Now I'm going to assume that you're scanning your courses automatically when you come into the game. If you're not, you do need to pull into the field, come back to CoursePlay Control, calculate your field path, and then save it as your field edge number. So assuming you've already done all that or you have it already scanned, we're going to be in field number 23 working. So let's go ahead and set that up. Our working width, as I said, that's 2 meters. So we need to crank down to 2 meters. And our starting corner is going to be the northeast corner. We're going to have to back up or this guy will run over us, because he likes to make funny turns. Our starting direction is going to be south. We're not going to do any headlands, so we can go ahead and generate our course. And we see it right there in front of us. I can go into settings and I can show the entire course so we can see everything. Alright, with that set, next thing we need to do is we need to go ahead and unpack our unit, get it ready to do the harvesting. We can turn it on and go ahead and get it started. Now, I need to compensate for the fact, as you see, it's offset from the side of the tractor. I've got to compensate for that. So the way we do that is we come under driving settings and tool offset horizontal. We need to adjust. We're going to adjust that up to right at 2 meters. And that should offset the tool just enough so when we go down the course, we're letting it, we're pushing the tractor to the left so that the head is underneath the line. And that's all you got to do. Once you've done that, you've taken the hard part out of this. Now all we have to do is drive the course. Now there's one more setting I want you to do though before that, because this implement has a little bit of an issue unloading because of the way the stack is on it for unloading. It is my suggestion to you, instead of unloading and driving at the same time, you go ahead and come into the combine controls and set this thing up to stop while it's unloading. It will save you a lot of hassle. It will come to a stop. Your unloading tipper can drive right up underneath it, unload, pull off, and the whole thing can go ahead. If you don't, sometimes you'll have issues with wiggling of the trailer or wriggling of the head. They won't line up and it won't unload. So by having it just come to a complete stop, usually it unloads pretty smoothly. So with that set to activated, this will make it stop when we have to unload. And so now all we have to do is drive the course. And this is the one time I'm going to tell you, make sure you start at first waypoint, because these are so close together, it's hard to get absolutely lined up on the right one. So with it start at first waypoint, it's going to head on out here, and we'll just check to make sure our offset is good. And that looks pretty darn right. And again, you can massage this anytime you need to just by coming here to your tool offset, and CoursePlay has adjusted that to 1.8 meters to the left for me. I really like for it to be 2 meters, but maybe CoursePlay's been updated since I did this the last time, so we'll leave it at 1.8 meters and we'll see how that does. So it's just going to go ahead and it's going to do its thing now, and it's going to harvest the potatoes, and we'll let it process on. And at this point, everything is set up. Our tractor is automated to come tip it. This guy's plowing through the field and it is harvesting the potatoes. And set up like this, you don't have to worry about it. Now, will you miss some potatoes here and there? Absolutely. The turning radius on this is not perfect. So on the ends of the field, you're going to miss some potatoes. If you want to get every one of the spuds out of the ground, you're going to have to come back and do a little manual work. But it sure beats the heck out of having to sit here and drive this thing all day long harvesting potatoes. And the first time I played and I wanted to do potatoes so bad, I bought this thing, and it literally took me I want to say 12 hours of in-game play to harvest a decent sized field. It was just about a nightmare. So as you can see, our little dots here, we're doing a good job of getting all of them covered, and we're getting all of our potatoes harvested, and it's just working perfect for you. So at this point, all is good. Now, we're not to 80%, but I am going to go ahead and call our trailer, so our case will come over here and unload our potatoes, and we'll show you how that works. Now, the one thing that you need to be aware of, the offset for your tipper needs to be 4.2 meters here in your settings for your combine. If you see your side offset is not auto to 4.2, you're going to need to adjust that a little bit. Otherwise, you won't get potatoes out of it, and you'll have some issues. So see how it just comes to a stop? It allows this guy to get up underneath it, harvest those potatoes out of there, and then we can just keep on going and keep on working. Now, it would have automatically done this and moved on right afterwards. It wouldn't have had to do anything else, so we'll just let it sit there and do its thing. And that's how simple CoursePlay is with this, and how you can do potato harvesting very economically without having to buy that huge unit, and also without having to spend hours doing the potatoes manually. So something to absolutely consider using. Now, the one thing you have to look at right here, it put this thing right there on the edge of the field. You do have to sometimes come in here and manipulate this a little bit, because it will get run over by our tractor if we don't get it out of the way. So periodically you are going to have to babysit this and just massage it on some stuff. But for the most part, it will at least take care of the potato harvesting flawlessly for you. And every once in a while you're just going to have to babysit it when it does something stupid like parks right in the way of the harvester coming through. But CoursePlay, the combine settings on it assume that you're working with is about 4 meters. So it tells the tipper to go get back in the already harvested part of the field, assuming that the working width on the other unit is 4 meters. It will be out of the way. But unfortunately with this, it's not. So you do have to every once in a while babysit this. It's not something that you can set and forget and then come back when the whole field is done. You do have to kind of keep an eye on it. You can go do some other stuff around the farm. Almost, I would tell you, it's almost best to just set the harvester up automatic and do the tipping yourself. If you do the tipping automatically, it's just one more thing that you're going to have to babysit. So you might as well just tip it yourself. Or just be thinking ahead of time and say, okay, I'm going to let it tip, and when it tips and it's emptied out, I need to go move it out of the way, just like I did right there, and park it off to the side. So as long as you do something like that, you shouldn't have any kinds of issues with it. So that's it. If you have any questions, make sure you put those in the comments field. I'll be happy to answer that. The biggest thing is just remember your offset. And so CoursePlay apparently has adjusted this because it looks good. So we'll go with 1.8 meters on the offset, 2 meter working width, and a 1.8 meter offset to the left will make this thing drag in a perfect path and harvest all your potatoes for you, and take away the nightmare of having to do this manually. That's going to go by, and we can look at what we just did, and all our potatoes got harvested. It's a beautiful thing. Now again, like I said, you're going to miss some up here in the edges, and you'll see how much was missed up here. If you can see the little stobs sticking up, you can either come back and do that manually, or you can just accept the loss, which I would highly recommend, and not worry about it. So that's it. Alright guys, I hope you enjoyed this video and hope it taught you a little bit of something about CoursePlay and how you can use it to automate your potato harvest. And again, if you have any questions, please feel free to ask me and I'll be happy to answer. There are more CoursePlay tutorials in the playlist for CoursePlay tutorials. Check those out, and of course I'll post another video tomorrow on something farm sim related. I'm not sure what it'll be, but come on back tomorrow and check it out. Until then, I am Mr. Moose. There goes our tipper to harvest. Thanks for watching. Hope you have a great day. Stay safe, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye-bye. Hey, thanks again for watching this video, and if you made it all the way to the end, well, maybe you liked it. So give me a big old thumbs up. That like goes a long way. Also, subscribe to this channel. I will update the videos every single day, so there'll always be something new for you to see. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you'll come back again tomorrow. Thanks for your support.